everyone, this is Anna from Savvy Cat Realty, and today I'm here with the third and last part of my EN2 road trip adventure. We are going to start back from Montergil and go all the way down to Faro. So next we went through the Tejo River, and the EN2 does go through the Tejo River. And we did stay 2 nights in Abrantes, so at this point we are on the 28th of May. We stayed from the 28th to the 30th. And at the exit of Abrantes, we went through the dam of Montergil, which is a popular fishing place. And the next stop was Mora. And Mora is the first town we are stopping in Alentejo, and at this point we start to see the typical landscape of Alentejo, that at this time of the year, because we are entering summer, it's known as the Golden Plains, because everything gets golden because of the wheat, and you just have the typical miles and miles of mostly plains with spread out trees that tend to be either sobreiros or oliveiras. So that's the very typical Alentejo landscape, and when you enter it, you can just say, look, I'm in Alentejo now. So the first stop in Alentejo was Mora, and we went to the Mora Fluviário. I don't know if it translates directly to Fluviário. I don't know, but basically it's a river museum where it exhibits the different local species of fish and also some exotic river fishes from around the world. It also has a small community of otters, which at this point it was really hot. I did mention before that up until the half of the trip everything was fine in regarding temperature. When we got to Abrantes, we were having 35 degrees and I was dying. So when we Mora and Alentejo and Abrantes, that area is probably the hottest area in Portugal. It gets bad. So I was melting. And I was really thankful that a big part of the things that we saw were indoors with air conditioning. So I forgot to mention we also went to the museum in Abrantes, which was really nice, but that will be on the video about the city itself. Either way, we went to see the Mora Fluviário, and we got our stamps in Mora, and we missed the beach. That once again is one of those locations where you only have like 1 or 2 miles along the street, along the road, and it's just there to annoy people because you would have to make a detour to actually get the stamp from the beach. So we didn't. So yes, we have here Abrantes, which we got the Palha de Abrantes stamp, which is the typical sweet, very, very sweet, conventional sweet. Then we have a little sticker that they gave us. I think it was in the museum, and the museum sticker and the hotel sticker. That is just no fun at all. It's not sticker, the stamp. And then we went to buy Ponte de Sor, which is in the Montergil barrage dam, the Montergil dam area. And then the Avis that we missed, and Mora. So in Mora, we got the first stamp in the Fluviário, and then we got a stamp on the restaurant we ate, and another stamp on the megalithic museum. So we will get there. So the Fluviário is really cool and definitely worth visiting, especially as families, but overall anyone who is curious and likes to see biodiversity, it's a great museum to visit. And we ended up getting lunch really late. So usually in Portugal, the restaurants close the lunch times at 3 p.m. And we thought we were going to get lunch in the Mora Museum, but it was full with a group event. So we went to check the museum first and only got lunch after. And we only got to the restaurant at like 2:30, 2:40, something like that. And it was tight to get our lunch, but we did. So we were happy and fed. And after the restaurant, we went to the Megalithic Museum, which was a very positive surprise. It's a really, really interactive museum. They had a bunch of digital stuff, and I was really impressed because they have these glass boxes where they have the findings inside, and then they have touch screens on them. And you kind of dig on we did the touch screen on the screen, and then they show you the different findings. You can click on them to see the information, and then click on that to make the glass transparent and see the actual finding below. I never seen that. It was really cool. So overall, that museum was positively impressive. It had a lot of information. And one of the things about the Alentejo is that you have a ridiculous amount of megalithic finds. It's really, really a lot of them. And you have also the, I can forget the name now, but you know, like Stonehenge, where they have the menhirs. The menhirs are the old big stones. They are shaped, and then you have a bunch of them making a temple kind of thing. We have a few of those throughout Alentejo too. So it's a really, really rich, culturally rich area in that sense. But actually not that full of people. There is not a lot of population in Alentejo, and it also gets really, really hot. So once we left the museums in Mora, the next stop was to just get the stamp along the way at the exit in Coruche. We actually also had to do a bit of the detour to get to Coruche, but we did get there. And it was a cool experience because we got the stamp in this gas station, and there was a tractor doing the EN2 on that gas station. So at the time I just commented, damn, I'm glad I didn't find them on the road, because that would have been painful to just stay behind them. But yes, we found a tractor doing the EN2. The next stop after Mora was the 500 mile that is just before Montemar o Novo in a village called Ciborro, and we got this cool 500 mile stamp. And after that we went to the Montemar o Novo hotel, which was the highlight of this trip when it comes to hotels personally. It is this place called Gandun Village, and it just opened, it had opened 2 months before my stay, and I had no idea. And they were still finishing the other side. They had like the homes, some apartment homes, and they were still finishing the hotel side. And overall, it was a sustainable rural tourism concept, and it was really well done. They paid attention to the small details like light pollution, food waste, organic recycling, and all of that. And it was also really comfortable. It was one of the 2 places where I ended up spending more than 100 euros per night. I spent 128 euros on one night, but honestly, it was completely worth it. We stayed in a 2-bedroom villa, apartment kinda, and we got breakfasts made by order at a time with really fresh ingredients. And the last time I got that treatment was in a 5-star resort. So overall, it was an incredible experience, and I highly recommend visiting this highly sustainable rural tourism. We also went to have dinner in a nice restaurant there that was called Poda, if I'm not mistaken. And we ate really well. Once again, seasonal products that with recipes, regional recipes. So overall, Montemar o Novo was also a very positive, surprisingly positive experience. Then we also visited the castle in Montemar o Novo, which is mostly a ruin. And then we exited the city. It does have a nice view from the castle. So before we left the city, we went to visit the Ermida de Nossa Senhora da Visitação, which is a small church in the top of a hill. And it was kind of cool because they had all the promises made to in the church there with the offerings and all of that. So they had a room full of it from top to bottom. So just at the exit of Monte Moro Novo, not too far from it, there is this village in Viana do Alentejo. I think it's in Viana do Alentejo, that has this really cool chapel that belonged to a private family that came from Spain, and it's fully decorated with seashells. And it's just impressive. It must have taken decades, and it's just a unique monument that not a lot of people know about. So it's in a village called Santiago dos Coral, and or Alcáçovas. No, it's in Alcáçovas. Sorry, it's in Alcáçovas, and it's just a really, really unique monument. I'd never seen something like that before. So after we went to visit that, the next stop was Alcácer do Sol. So Alcáçovas, if I'm not mistaken, it counts as Viana do Alentejo. Next stop was Alcácer do Sol, where we just got the stamp there into Torrão. And we went next to Ferreira do Alentejo. And in Ferreira do Alentejo, I stayed at a friend's house that is also who operates as the Alentejo agent in that area. And we actually had a call at 6 p.m., so I arrived there relatively early. And I stayed there for 2 nights with the family. And it was just a typical Alentejo experience. When Alentejo, we usually say it's the slow life. Honestly, it is too hot to do anything fast. But I slowed down a bit and relaxed a bit more on that night and just enjoyed the company of having my friends' family there. We went to get the stamps in the Bombeiros and the tourism point. And we also got a little stamp from the Caldeirão Lendário, which is my friend's business. They are the ones also who inherited. Some of you know that I used to have a Viking tavern. So Caldeirão Lendário is the descendant of my Viking tavern. So the next stop should have been Aljustrel, but we actually went there. We went to Aljustrel. We took pictures on the viewpoint, on the capella, on the... there's a Miradouro there. So I think it's the Miradouro do Homónio. No, Homónio is a... Okay, but anyway, we went there. We took pictures on the chapel and the Miradouro, and we didn't get a stamp. And I only realized it later. In our defense, it was Sunday and nothing was open. So we missed the Aljustrel stamp. And next stop was Castro Verde, where we went to have lunch. We ate very well in a local restaurant. I think we had the stamp in the restaurant, but I don't have it here. So either way, we then went to the church there, the Matriz Church, which is a really unique monument too. It tells the story of how Portugal became independent. Some of you may know that Portugal was founded in 1100 and I think it's 43. I'm sorry. So anyway, and then there was this... and Portugal became independent because the Pope gave his support to the first Portuguese king, Dom Afonso Henriques, in order to drive the Mouros, so the Arabs, away from the south of Portugal, and that's Alentejo and Algarve. And that's also why you will see a lot of Arabic constructions in this area. So this church tells the story of the battle. I have it written here. Wait. the Battle of Ourique, which was one of the big battles that was done in order to drive the Arabs away from this land, and how the king got a visitation from a god, and how then he got crowned, and everything is told. The story is told through the tiles in this church. And then we also went to the top. We actually got a guided tour. We went to the top and checked out the view, which is a really beautiful view. Once again, typical Alentejo view. And then the next part was to visit the Lucerna Museum. The Lucerna Museum is, lucernas are, those oil lamps that Roman used, that used to put olive oil and then had a rope and just kept burning. It was the candles of the time. And they were often used as offerings, like we use candles now for rituals and offerings to God and so on. And they found hundreds of lucernas buried near a small chapel. We assume that was originally a Roman temple, and then a chapel was built on top, as that it is extremely common in religious fights. And this museum is free to visit and has a number of lucernas, and some of them are amazingly preserved with all kinds of different imagery from gods and triumph and animals and so on. So it's really cool. I really like those kinds of findings, and I really enjoy especially Roman findings and how evolved really the artistically and engineering wise this civilization was. So then we left Castro Verde, and the next stop for the night was Almodóvar. And in Almodóvar, we stayed in the local lodging called Casa da Igreja that was just in the center. And this was Monday, and I completely forgot that usually museums are closed on Monday here in Portugal. So there were 2 museums I wanted to visit in Almodóvar, and we didn't get to visit any of them because it was Monday. So we had to put some gas before we left and stopped in the gas station. And the employee there was really nice and did this handwritten dedicatory to our trip. At the exit of Almodóvar, we went to another viewpoint. This one was called the Homónio viewpoint and the Alto da Arroteira. And then the next stop was São Brás de Alportel. Actually, before São Brás de Alportel, we go through the Serra dos Candeeiros, and it is the most twists and turns area of the whole road. So if you get car sick easily, this area will be the worst one for you. My friends, they did the opposite. They started from Faro to Chaves. And she tends to get car sick, and that she was like, oh, I hope that the road is not like this the whole way. It's not. That area is the worst. So anyway, in that area, we then also stopped in a viewpoint. It had a swing, and you can see that the landscape starts changing into the Algarve landscape in this area. And then we stopped for lunch in a small restaurant, also in this area that was called Casa do Presunto, and had lulinhas, and it was delicious. We are starting to get to the seafood in Algarve, and we got our passport stamped. So, yes, we got it stamped at the beginning of Serra dos Candeeiros, that is the 688 mile, and then on the 705 mile, that is where we got our food. Oh, and I also took pictures of the 666 mile, that is just outside of Almodóvar. So once we exit the Serra dos Candeeiros, the next stop is the first city in the Algarve that you get to, and that is São Brás de Alportel. São Brás de Alportel is actually not a particularly interesting city. It is developed mostly modern, and it don't have much traces of the original Arab style Algarve architecture, so it's lost its charm, so to say. We did stop in the Casa dos Artistas in order to get our stamp, and that was an old lady doing bilrouche there, so that was cool. And we got our stamps. We also stopped in the firefighters in order to get directions, because we detoured from the EN2 when we couldn't find it again. So once we exited, we went to the Pousada de Estói, and the Pousada de Estói is just outside of, just after, between Faro and São Brás del Portel. Faro is the end of the road, and it is a hotel and a recuperation of a palace that belonged to I think it was a viscount. So we took a few pictures there, and we also wanted to go and see the Roman ruins of Estói, but they were closed. Apparently they closed on Tuesdays, and we came back the next day in order to visit them after going to Faro, which was the last stop. So in Faro, we stayed in an apart hotel, and once again, we reached the Algarve. The Algarve is the most popular touristic destination in the whole of Portugal. And Faro actually used to be not such a popular destination, because it is on the... I always confuse west and east in English, so either way it is on the side closer to Spain, and that side you don't have the typical cliffside sea landscape, beautiful, that you have in most of the Algarve. You have the more fluvial kind of landscape. There is the reserve area there, Rio Formosa. Yes, so there is the Rio Formosa reserve area there, where you have a kind of a salty, swampy river area, and it is unique to a bunch of biodiversity, including a reserve for seahorses. But it is not a typical landscape, and usually not the preferred one for a summer vacation. So it chose not to be that popular. However, it became extremely popular in the last, let's say 5, maybe 10 years. And it got really expensive now. And I mean, everything is expensive in the Algarve. So once again, like I was saying, this is the other place when I paid more than 100 euros a night. I paid 140 euros a night for a part hotel without breakfast. And the room, it was nice. It was quite central, the hotel. Overall, I don't have anything negative to say about it. The staff was nice and everything. It's just normal prices in the Algarve. Then we went out for dinner, and we paid 30-something euros for a salad and a goat cheese entree. And my mother got really traumatized. So the next day we went to have lunch in Olhão after we went to the Roman ruins of Estói, because Olhão is a fisherman village, and you get more affordable seafood prices, and we ate amazingly. It was actually the most expensive meal we had, but we got oysters and lingueirão, which is a kind of a long clam, and octopus. So I don't think it was too bad. We paid 49 euros, something like that. Either way, we ate really, really well, and we're very happy about it. Olhão is outside of the EN2. We just made the detour to go and have seafood. And then we went back to Faro, because we didn't find the final mark of the EN2 the day we arrived. Turns out it is in the middle of a roundabout that is under construction, and it's super full of traffic. So it's really hard to take pictures of it. I did take pictures kind of in between cars, but I couldn't kind of take a celebratory, I ended the road kind of picture. So I just took one in the Faro lettering in the marina. So this was the end of the trip. We still got to see the rest of Faro, and I will tell you about it on the video about Faro. But overall, this is the end of the trip. That roundabout has the 138 kilometers marking, and it does mark the end of the EN2 trip. So this was an amazing trip that I highly recommend that to anyone that enjoys traveling and enjoys Portugal. It was an amazing gastronomic experience too, and taking out the Algarve, it is actually very affordable, and we stayed in some amazing places. So I hope that you enjoyed this trip and this story about it, and I would love to know if you already done this trip, or how your experience was. If you are considering moving to any of the cities, do reach out to us at contact@savvycatrealty.com, or feel free to check our services in our website. We work with both rentals and purchases, and do state everything transparently in our website in www.savvycatrealty.com. So I hope to see you around there. As you know, we post new videos every week, and you can check them out in our channel here. So feel free to subscribe and check our blog too in our website. So I hope this was helpful, and I will see you all again next week. Bye.